Let's do it. All right, let's jump into the defensive side of the ball first, guys. So what I did was just pulled some tweets, pulled some random statistics, and just to kind of show, here are the players that are really shining in 2025. Okay, I'm going to play this audio first here, this video. A little bit of language. They did have it beeped out though. Keep in mind, everybody is talking about the Packers. And specifically, they're talking about the Packers defense, right? Everybody's now saying the Packers might be the best team in the league. Many people are thinking the Packers are better than the Eagles. I don't believe that until they beat the Eagles. That's just me personally, right? You know, to be the man, you got to beat the man, as a wise man once said. I think it was your uncle Ric Flair, wasn't it, Emilio?
Yeah, with the drip. Yeah, Ric Flair drip said that, I'm sure.
Jacob says, oh, yeah, that's Macho Man. Jacob, what the hell's wrong with you, dude?
Sorry.
Unbelievable. All right, here we go. I love that Xavier McKinney is not getting complacent. All right. Listen to what he says on the backside of this 23-second clip. I'm going to try to kill these pterodactyls real quick, too.
I'm not going to sit up here and say we're the best team in the NFL. I mean, it's just 2 games. We got a lot of football to play. And I think the biggest thing about being 2-0, like, to be honest, like, you can't really get complacent, and you can't feel like you won a Super Bowl, because it's a lot of that start off 2-0 and later in the season they don't be worth shit. So
I love it, dude. There's a lot of MFers, right, that start off this way, and then at the end of the day, they ain't worth a crap. Basically, what he's saying. It's so true. It's so true. This is what we're talking about. It's one thing to, you know, kind of learn how to lose, learn how to handle a loss, take the positives out of it, build off of it, put that behind you, and move on to the next game. But I'm telling you, man, the great teams, they know how to win. You know what I mean? They know how to handle success now. There's always another level, and we haven't accomplished anything yet. So glad Xavier McKinney's in this locker room. What's your all's thoughts on what he said there?
I mean, I think it's great just because that's what veteran leadership is supposed to do. We got a lot of young guys. It's the youngest team in the league again for, the second or third year in a row. The fact that he comes in there and he's not tamping anybody down. He's not telling them, hey, don't be excited, don't get motivated. But the fact that, like you said, don't be caught slipping. We've done 2 out of 18 games. We got 1/9 of the season left, that we've only completed, and that's not going to win anybody anything. So I love the fact that he's keeping everybody kind of grounded and humble.
Yeah, I love the MFer bombs too. I love the permission to speak freely. Absolutely granted. You can tell this is a guy that loves his team, loves his teammates, and is fired up, man. And like you said, man, that's veteran leadership 101. You know, sometimes the MFers slip out when you're passionate about ball, man. And
Tim, did you guys see Jaden Reed today coming out of anesthesia? He was dropping a few F-bombs as well there. You know, it's going around the Packers right now.
You know these guys are feeling this season when you wake up from, the last thing you see is the mask go on. And then you open your eyes after a double surgery on the foot and on the collarbone, and the first thing you think is, we're going to the Super Bowl, boys. We're going to the Super Bowl.
They did do a double surgery, Clay?
Yeah, ain't that right, Tim?
They did. Jay Reed confirmed it himself once he was conscious enough to tweet. He did. So that was awesome. Yeah, me, if I wake up from anesthesia, from a procedure, and I see a cell phone in my face, I'm going to take everything in me to try and swat it out of my face and not want to say anything. But yeah, you're right, Clay, man. To come out like that and just be right back to ball, it's like your first thoughts it's insane, man. I love it. It's pretty cool. Gotta love Bird, man.
Know where that mentality's at for the whole team, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
And speaking of that mentality, here we go. ESPN Insights here. Emilio says elite defenses. The Chargers joined the Packers as the only teams that have yet to give up a first half touchdown this season. Emilio, this is how you get after a team with the pass rushes. You play with the lead. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. First half too, nonetheless. Not first quarter, not first drive, first half. And really, you could probably push it to the third. I think the Redskins maybe scored in the third, or Commanders, sorry. They scored in the third. But you think about it, the defense, that's where Matt's, we can't let him up. We can't be letting him up in the end of the game. We got to finish the full 60. But dude, for 30 minutes, you have a problem on your hands. For the first 30 minutes, you are not ready for this team. And once we can hammer out that last 30 minutes and that defense just locks everything else up, imagine if we only give up a couple field goals, or, you're just bending, and boom, we're up 30 just because they've only hit 2 field goals kind of thing. So, it's exciting.
Definitely. Another stat here. as I was combing through NFL Pro earlier today. Rashan Gary is currently third in the NFL with 2.5 sacks. Both full sacks came while Micah Parsons was on the sideline. So don't spare me the, well, it's because we got Micah BS. He was on the sideline when Rashan Gary got his 2 full sacks. The half sack, yes, Parsons was on the field with him. But I want you to climb down there. Look at the number 12 spot, guys. This is amongst all defensive linemen. It includes edge defenders and defensive tackles. Devontae Wyatt is tied for 4th with 2 sacks already in this early season. Tim, Devontae Wyatt, man, that's your 3 tech of the future. It's looking like, dude. He took a huge jump. You got him on the 5th-year option for next year. Let's get that contract in motion right now, man. Let's do it now before it gets too expensive.
Yep, I agree. I mean, we've been talking about this since even before we heard of, Kenny Clark and Micah Parsons, trade package or anything like that. I think that was kind of, the long-term plan in a perfect world. And I guess it is a perfect world because, Jerry gave us Micah for Kenny Clark and a couple firsts, and Devontae Wyatt is balling out of control, just as we planned, right? Shout out to Goody. I love it.
Yep. And you'll notice too, Jacob, that on that sack, and I highlighted, we'll talk about it on Chalk Talk for sure, but that Gary sack this Sunday, like I said, Micah wasn't on the field, but you had Gary in the wide 9 and you had Devontae Wyatt in the 3 tech. And here's what they chose to do. Let's let Wyatt have a one-on-one and let's chip Gary. And Gary beat both of them. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. And as much as I love the Micah Parsons project and what that means for this defense, I really do think there's something to be said that even if we didn't have Micah, which don't get me wrong, I'm very happy now with the way that this has worked out, that there was just something about this defense that was different going into the year. Like I said, Micah's definitely going to be a catalyst, but like Goody said in his press conference, you're never one guy away type thing mentality. I really do think that if he wasn't on this defense, that we would still be playing at a very high level. I'm not sure if it'd be but we would be absolutely – I'm seeing stuff out of LVN, out of Wyatt, out of Gary, out of Edge, out of X, out of Evan, all these guys that Micah Parsons didn't make them better. He does when he's on the field and playing complimentary football, but he physically didn't go to them and like Madden, I'm going to up your rating 3 points here, 4 points here. That's just how it works. But I really do think that there's something to be said, that there's something going on in Green Bay and this defensive side of the ball, and man, am I excited. And the offensive side of the ball, which we'll get into here, I'm sure, in a minute.
Yeah, definitely. Seth Reuter with the super chat. Thank you, Seth. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, love that we have captains. Did I miss it or no lead captain? 5-star / Gold C. Bigger game this week, Wicks or Golden? Got a couple different comments there. Yeah, I didn't see the 5-star or the Gold C. I could be wrong. It might be X. I don't know, though. But I want to say that's it, like multiple years as a captain. You get so many years in, that's when you get the Gold C. Am I thinking right, guys?
I think according to standard wisdom, right? I think that's like years of service, Chevron kind of thing. But I do agree with Seth. I love that we have captains and we're not going to play pick me every single week. I think this is a good step in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, and again, Wicks or Golden, bigger game this week. I'm going to say Golden, guys. Listen, he is cooking people. I want to say that there was a stat that dropped earlier today, and I didn't retweet it, I don't think, but it was something like a 400 average on winning on his routes, I think is what it was. So it's like 4 out of 10 he's winning on the routes, essentially is what it was.
When him and Jordan find that rhythm, it's a wrap. I can tell you that right now. It's an absolute wrap.
He would have had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns last week if Jordan hadn't missed him. And Jordan still had a great game. We're going to talk about Jordan here in a minute, how he's playing phenomenal. But
I'm with you, Clay. I think it's Golden. No disrespect to Tay Wicks, though. Obviously, we want him to have a big game too. But I think the MG breakout party is going to happen in Cleveland on Sunday. Just my thoughts.
Thank you for that super chat, Seth. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, next stat here, Emilio. We got per Next Gen Stats. This was Zach Cruz that tweeted this out. Packers linebacker Edgerrin Cooper leads the NFL in their version of a stop, which is a tackle creating a negative change in EPA. He already has 15 in 2 games. Also, Micah Parsons is 4th in total pressures at 11, despite playing only 56.2% of Green Bay's snaps. Now, since we're talking Edgerrin Cooper, also notice the hustle stops. Okay, if you're wondering what a hustle stop is, he's leading the league with 8 hustle stops. Fred Warner's got 4. He's got twice as many hustle stops, Emilio, than Fred Warner. A hustle stop A stop is exactly what Zach said here, right? It's when a player makes a tackle and the play has resulted in a negative EPA. A hustle stop is when a defender runs 20 yards on the field, 20 yards of space. It could be horizontally, diagonally, straight ahead, whatever you, 20 yards of field covered and making the stop. That's what a hustle stop is. Edgerrin Cooper's on a different level, man. As much as people are excited about Micah Parsons, Edgerrin Cooper is the guy on this defense right now. And again, Micah Parsons makes all the difference in the world, but Edgerrin Cooper is a different animal.
Yeah, all I heard that entire time was speed, 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 and it shows, dude. Edgerrin Cooper can be anywhere on the field anytime he wants to be, and you're looking at it like dude's played 99% of the snaps, 15 stops. I mean, that's why we haven't given up 100 rushing yards yet. You have speed at backers, your D line's getting in there. You're containing running backs, containing quarterbacks, and now we're about to go off on a quarterback that is immobile. You saw him trying to run down Nate Wiggins after he threw the pick. It's like, we might go off this game. Couple loop blitzes here and there. We are so lucky that he pulled the trigger on Edgerrin Cooper in the second round because he is an absolute dog.
I can't wait to get into the preview later this week because I've heard little murmurings that we might get Shadir Sanders instead of Mr. Flacco, and that may make things a little bit interesting when you're game planning. So I'm wondering if that's what they're doing this week. Are they planning for any and everything? You know, I don't think they're going to generate a game plan solely around old Joe back there. Because if you game plan for Joe Flacco and you end up with Shadir Sanders, whether he starts or not, it could get interesting, right?
Yeah, if Joe Flacco's starting, you're throwing the Jared Goff game plan at him. If it's Shadir Sanders, you're probably going to go with the Jaden Daniels approach, I would imagine. Now, Shador is more of a pocket passer than just a true scrambler or anything. I would not put Shadir Sanders' scrambling ability on Jaden Daniels' level. When I say pure pocket passer, I'm not saying he's a better pocket passer than Jaden Daniels. Please don't take that the wrong way. I'm simply saying he wants to stay in the pocket, right? That's kind of what Shadir wants to do. Micah Parsons in his first 2 games as a Packer, Jacob, 90.2 pass rush grade, 10 pressures, 1.5 sacks, and a 25% pass rush win rate. Micah on fire over here in the green and gold, man.
Yeah, all I can see there is high score. What does that mean? Did I break it? What does that mean? That to me is just insane. And I just got done saying that, you're never one guy away, but one guy can help if he's a freaking superstar. And that right there, for being a dude that just walked in here, admittedly didn't have the full grasp of the playbook right away. I mean, nobody could. You could never blame him for that, for just stepping in on, what was it, like 4 or 5 days before the start of the season. Just an absolute sponge, absorbed everything that Hafley threw at him, went out there on the field, ball not 100% clearly, which I think we all admit, not in football shape. And then to come out and produce these types of numbers, that to me tells you one thing, that investment was well spent, that the Packers understood that they're going to be pushing in a lot of chips for a blue chip player. And the ROI right now is honestly 2 times as better than I thought it could even possibly be. I mean, like you said, 90.2 pass rush grade, 10 pressures, 1.5 sacks, 25% pass rush win rate, guys. That's pretty insane.
He was the best guy around.
So I'll tell you, somebody else is playing out of their mind right now is Keyshawn Nixon, right? He leads all NFL cornerbacks in PFF grade, tied with Sauce Gardner at 85.2 is his defensive grade, with a coverage grade of 88.2. I believe that leads the entire league amongst DBs, okay? And also, just want to mention, Carrington Valentine comes in at number 7 at a 79.3 defensive grade with an 82.0 coverage grade.
Wow.
So, Emilio, the DBs stepping up big time, man, especially Keyshawn and Carrington. These are your outside corners. I know Nate Hobbs is going to start over Carrington, but I'm telling you, man, Carrington is a starting cornerback in this league.
Yeah, and we were talking about that in the offseason is where are they going to play? You have Bull playing pretty well in there in the slot. That means you allow these guys with that injury to Hobbs to play well outside. And Keyshawn has kept his word. He wants to be that number 1, and he's proven it. He put in the work in the offseason. You put in the work preseason, all of that, and it's showing off right now. You might not have the best run defense or pass rush. That's fine. I mean, I really could care less. Dude is locking them down on the outside. You're scared to throw them that way. You're scared to throw to X. I mean, what are you going to do? Then you're going to go after Carrington, who's number 7. It's right. Like you don't have a lot of options here to move the ball. That's why it looks like all we've been playing against is dink and dunk teams. They can really only just dump it off, 10 yards or less.
Yeah. And as we wrap up this segment here to get into some Jordan Love talk, just want to hit this real quick. The updated numbers. The Packers are now 7th in EPA per drop back. So they're 7th in EPA per drop back. That's a passing defense metric, obviously. And they are running 33% of the time. They're running cover 3 defense. 28% of the time they're playing cover 2 or a variation of. And then you've got cover 1 man at 17%. On Chalk Talk tonight, you're going to notice several plays where they play cover 1 man. Okay, so they mixed that in quite a bit last week. And then cover 6 comes in at 15%. I know we've been waiting for that metric to drop. And shout out to those guys over at @football_insights on X that put that data together. So,
and honestly, Clay, would you think that the 0% covered 2 man would be, a sign that they're not worried about trying to get beat over the top with their man? Like they have faith in their corners being able to lock up the receivers?
Absolutely. That and you played the Detroit Lions, who had a really good rushing attack last season. So the last thing you want to be is in 2-man under against that running game. And then you turn around and play Jaden Daniels the next week. If you're in 2-man under, I'm telling you, with a 4-man rush, he's gone. As soon as they turn their back, he's scrambling. So it's just Jeff Hafley kind of taking it